Oh, that closed up on me. That's not something I wanted. Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Creepshow.
Yes, we finally watched it.
And you took, like, no notes on it because you were just having a good old time.
Yes! I loved it!
I always forget this movie has 5 stories. It's an anthology movie and has 5 stories plus the wraparound. I say that because the sequel only has 3. And that's, like, a big difference if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally is.
Yeah. It also explains why this one's a lot better than the second one. A lot better.
Okay, you guys did not steer me wrong on this at all.
Nope.
Everybody going, Creepshow, Creepshow! And I'm like, yes! You got me excited about it, and you didn't fail me. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite part.
Meteor poop! We can't say the other word. Demonetization. But no, that was her favorite part. But let's get to the beginning of this. 1982, Creepshow, 2 hours long. Said in the Tales from the Dark Side interview, or review rather, reaction, there really isn't much of a wraparound to this, because there really isn't. It's a dad that takes the comic book away from the kid, throws the comic book on the ground, and the wind blows the pages, and that's it.
I felt for that kid because, not to that level, but I was that kid who got my comic books taken away because, well, girls shouldn't be reading comic books, apparently.
There is a stack of horror comics right there for you. Go for it.
He loves me.
The father in this is played by the awesome Tom Atkins. Now, he's in Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and he's also in Night of the Creeps. I'm sorry, I was thinking of Night of the Comet and Night of the Demon. It's Night of the Creeps. He's also in the remake of My Bloody Valentine. Big horror actor, actually big mainstream actor too, but he gets a lot of work in horror, and he's noticed for all those, because when he's in it, he kind of brings a, don't judge by this one. Judge by the other movies. He brings a, what's the word I'm looking for? You root for him, he's a good guy. Not always, but he's always a good guy. Damaged, but you know everything's going to be okay with him. And you know what I mean? Can't think of the word. But they came to him for this movie and pretty much said, look, take whatever role you want. And do you know what role he wanted?
Tell me.
I'm asking you, and you're just
no,
sitting
I
there
have
going,
no idea.
He wanted Geordie.
You're kidding me.
He wanted Stephen King's role. He said, yeah, I'll take Geordie. I like that. And they went, yeah, the guy writing it kind of took the role.
The guy writing
and
it
he's like,
took the
who's
role.
the guy writing it? Stephen King. Oh, well, he can have the role.
But Stephen King played
excellent.
An awesome
excellent hillbilly. It's a soda pop, just so you know. What? Don't want to get demonetized for that either. But no, he is plays a great hillbilly.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm wondering it, though.
The crossed eyes.
Cross-eyed and the buck teeth. But the whole time I'm wondering this, it's like, oh, this is 1982. How drugged up is he?
Honestly,
is this
I don't
alcohol
think...
or cocaine days.
I don't think he was. I think... Because, think of it this way. He wrote the story.
Right.
So he knows what he was looking for in that character.
Mm-hmm. But keep in mind, he also wrote, The Shining when he was drunk off his ass. So.
Yo, The Shining was, like...
But, let's get to Creepshow. Let's get to the first story, which was...
Father's Day.
I want my cake.
Where's my cake?
Very young Ed Harris in this. Who dies telepathically from a headstone? Does the zombie move that, or does it just...
No, I don't know, man. It was kind of like just... He was laying there and like, move.
Maybe the ground was just so soft.
Just get up. Get up. It's moving. And then all of a sudden it was like...
Dead. Quick plot summary of this. It's called Father's Day. A rich family of 4 people and a cook are at a mansion. They're celebrating Father's Day from the heir to this estate who was killed 3 years ago by his own daughter who snapped and beat him over the head with a marble ashtray.
And they celebrate with a baked ham dinner.
Now, every year on Father's Day, she comes back drunk off her butt, goes to the cemetery, spends an hour there, then comes and they eat. Well, she never comes back this time because Daddy Dearest comes back from the dead.
Well, no. We're completely missing the alcohol abuse in this movie.
We didn't get up to it yet.
I know, but she was drunk.
So how are we missing it?
She was drunk. And...
They're all drunk in these movies, don't you get it?
Yeah.
They keep dropping bottles of Jim Beam.
I'm drunk right now.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
They keep dropping bottles of Jim Beam like all over the place. But she's at the grave. He gets up. How does he kill her again? Does he just snap her neck? I know he does that to the other daughter. Ed Harris, he drops a tombstone on. The cook is just dead.
Yeah, we never found out how she got killed.
They just walk into the kitchen and she has one
She's
of them.
like...
It's one of the miraculous things in horror movie where you can actually... a dead body will just stand up till the right moment and hit a glass door. Mm-hmm. You know, you've seen that in movies.
How convenient.
It happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it happens even with dead bodies nowadays. They stand up and everything.
Sure. Yep.
But the end of the movie is he takes the... It's not his daughter, it's his granddaughter? Or his niece. Takes her head, puts whipped cream on it, and has his cake. Which would have made more sense if he actually took his daughter's head, carried it with him to the house.
Yeah.
But it's still...
He got his cake.
It's the most common line said when you talk about Creepshow, where's my cake? Because it's just a simple zombie coming for revenge. It's a great story. It's probably my favorite in all these. What about you?
Rich people. I wanted them all to die.
Rich white people.
Yeah, pretty
Even
much.
Ed Harris, the dude could strike a match like no tomorrow.
Yo, his match striking skills were
awesome.
On point. I was impressed by that, but I was like, typical like 80s dude, like smoking and meh, I'm not all about the smoking, so.
But it's a quick one. I like it. It could have been, it felt like a certain show that came out in 89 on HBO, Tale. Mm-hmm. But the thing I pointed out with you and I wanted to make it known was, like, right away is they use a lot of red lights and blue lights to mimic a comic book. Because Creepshow was a comic book, and so was Tales from the Crypt.
I absolutely loved that comic book effect, how they put that in all the bits, like, and how they made, like, comic cells.
Right,
some of them. I really appreciated that a lot. That was really cool.
But, yeah. Father's Day, probably my favorite one. Second one in the anthology is Meteor Poop.
The Lonesome Death of Jordy Burrell. Yeah.
And that is a very apt title for this because he dies alone and in pain.
Yeah, he does. And he sealed his fate.
If you don't know it, Stephen King is Jordy Burrell. He's a farmer.
Kind of just like a bumbling idiot.
Aside from the 30-second part with his father as a ghost, Stephen King's the only person in this.
Mm-hmm. And he carried it well. He really.
It starts with a meteor hitting his field. He's a dumb redneck, whatever. Thinks he's going to take this meteor down to the college and get $200 for it. $200, because that's a lot to him. Because that's a lot, not a penny less.
And he had to pay off a bank loan.
And he can't touch the meteor because it's too damn hot, so he pours water on it. It cracks open. He tries to take it anyway, but spills everything inside the meteor into the ground. Mm-hmm. Now, vegetation is growing rapidly on his farm. And on him because he touched it.
Yeah, and everything that he touched, too.
Yeah, it was all over his clothes.
It also makes you think about everything you touch. And if you, like, don't wash your hands...
Oh, no, not there! He says that.
I know!
You forgot about that?
That was my second favorite line in that bit.
But everything he touched starts to grow rapidly. And to make this really, like... Because this was a quick one, too, and it was kind of sad.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes the pain go away is water, but it's vegetation, it's grass. It needs water to spread. That's why it's growing so rapidly on him. It's sucking the water out of him.
So it's not Bronto, what plants crave?
No, it's not. He jumps in the bathtub. And that's pretty much it. The next morning, he is completely a moss man.
Yep.
And takes a shotgun to his head.
And just blows himself away. And it's sad.
The ending scene is, you hear the radio say, or I'm sorry, the TV say, hey, for you farmers, lucky for you guys, it's going to be rain for a while.
Basically...
And you just see the grass growing to the town.
It's basically the farm report. But fun little fact about that. That was filmed not too far from where a relative of mine lives.
Oh, cool. Did you notice the sign where the vegetation was going, the city?
I remember one was a place...
Castle Rock.
Castle Rock, that's right.
Gee, I wonder if Stephen King has a show called Castle Rock. That has a certain clown in it that's not playing the clown. He does other show. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know.
It's a very quick story. It is a very sad story because this guy, the whole time he's like, he just wants something right to go right.
Yeah, and
he just wants a little bit of luck.
And he's like, oh hell yeah, there's this thing and it just hit, and maybe this will be my chance to get out of debt.
Yeah, he had a
loan
from the bank. Loan. Yeah, bank loan.
$200.
$200.
I mean, hell, you know what? I'd pay that bank loan off for him, get him out of debt.
Well, this is 1982, so $200 was
a lot of money back then.
But he did good. It was a quick one. You do feel for the character.
Yeah.
He sadly did bring it on himself, but he tried to do something good. He wasn't being malevolent with it or mischievous.
Right. Oh, also the doctor scene. Oh, we're gonna have to cut this off.
The doctor,
and he's like sharpening
the doctor, the father, and him. Those are the only three people.
Yep. But like I said, for the most part, he carried it.
Yeah.
He did great.
It's a good segment. I think it's one of your favorite. Is it your favorite?
Yes.
What was
I'm gonna
3?
say it.
Don't say it. Meteor poop. What was number 3?
Number 3 was Something to Tide You Over. Now, I want to talk about this
Someone didn't know the history of someone before they were a big comedian.
But anybody who's watching us right now knows that I'm not very good at celebrities. I'm not good at movies. I'm not good at all of that stuff. And it was very weird for me to see Leslie Nielsen in a non-slapstick...
and doing it well.
Yes! Oh my god! Like,
well.
He made me mad.
A rich butthole who, just tortured 2 people to death.
Yeah.
His wife?
Girlfriend?
Yeah,
the woman in his life. Big question mark.
The woman in his life is cheating on him with 1982 Ted Danson.
Yeah.
So, I don't blame her. So he takes her out. We don't see it. He takes her out to the beach. And then hours later, he takes Ted Danson to another part of the beach. And we see what he does to Ted Danson. Buries him up to his neck in sand. And then plays a video of that he already did it to her hours ago. And the tide's already hitting her down on her end.
My question
What I loved about that was 1982, when you play someone a video, he had the cables from his house all the way to the beach.
And this dude was obsessed with TVs. He had, like, TVs everywhere and, like, cameras and stuff, and he, like, owned the island, whatever. But he, like I said, it was so weird seeing him in such a
dark role.
Serious and, like, him being the villain. And I was just like, you saw the look on my face. I was just
villainous, shooting guns at Ted Danson, making him bury himself up to at least half of him. He does make him bury himself halfway up, and then he takes care of it the rest of the way. See him just watching them with glee while he's drinking straight vodka.
Oh, and that tracksuit that he was wearing.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know he was Italian.
Yeah, I was like, crushed velvet tracksuit.
He was wearing a crushed velvet tracksuit. And pulling it off.
Yeah.
Villain-wise, pulling it off.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I had never seen Leslie Nielsen without a shirt on.
Oh.
Saw that. There's a shower scene above the waist, but yeah.
I'm gonna be real though. I was like,
pretty good body for a guy his
not
age.
not
But the
bad.
story is, he took them, he buried them up to the next, the tide comes in, and he even tells him, if you hold your breath and you plan it just right, you'll live. Hell, even the tide might get you out.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he goes back in the evening, because I don't even think a night had passed.
No, he went back that night.
In the evening, he's looking around and he doesn't see their bodies. He's just like, tide took him out. But you can see, like, he was really good with, like, that look of concern.
He was worried.
And a little worry at the
paranoid.
same time. And he was just like, but he played it so straight face.
Yeah, but
that's what made it so great.
He reminded me a lot of,
until he got back to his house and the shit's...
Yeah.
The stuff started happening. No, I didn't say anything. But
Wash your mouth out with soap.
When he was at the beach, just looking at all the equipment that was blown out, because he left the camera there, and he left the TV there.
And he didn't care. That's how rich this dude was. And
1982 stuff.
And for you young folks, all this stuff, like these, you might look at them as a crappy looking TV now, but that stuff was like the most expensive, top of the line stuff, and that was our childhood. I'm not gonna go there with our age.
Well, anyway, they come back from the
Getting
dead.
Old.
They're zombies. Now, I'm assuming the woman was a stunt woman.
She had to have been.
That's why we really didn't see her too much, and she was under that makeup. Now, Ted Danson came...
We saw her a lot.
Just on the TV.
Yeah.
You didn't see her in person.
Yeah.
But Ted Danson we saw a lot. Now, was that him underneath that makeup?
I think it was.
I didn't look that up.
It looked like him a lot.
But
so I'm going to say yeah.
They looked extremely pruny and purple and covered in seaweed.
But they looked like, they reminded me of like zombie mermaids almost.
Yeah.
Zombie mermaids.
For my Castlevania fans out there, yeah. I know you've never played the game. It's okay. But they get them, and they really bend the rules with their powers in this one, though. Because 1 minute they're standing in front of him, they can't get through the door, he's got to open the door. They chase him into the bathroom, he locks the bathroom door,
right.
and they're just standing behind him.
Yes.
They took a really big liberty with that.
Yeah, they totally did. But you know what? Whatever, it worked.
But they bury him up to his neck, and he's like panic laughing and maniacally laughing the whole time, saying he can hold his breath for a long time just as the water's hitting his face.
Yep.
And that's how it ends.
Yep.
Cuts to the comic book balloon, bubble, whatever it is, page of him with the water on his face, and then fades out.
Yep.
And yeah, Leslie Nielsen, if you ever look up some of his older stuff, played a great gangster. Just great villain, really intense before the comedy stuff came along. And this movie kind of proves it. It's like a little hint of it.
And like I said, it was just weird for me to not see him slapstick and being goofy and just like being an idiot. You know, like that was strange for me. So
glad I could broaden your horizon.
Sure.
Number 4.
The Crate.
Yeah, Fluffy. It's called Fluffy. Janitor finds a crate underneath some steps.
Fluffy.
That's been there for 137 years. This is a really big university. No one's seen this crate for 137 years. That was always my thing about it.
Yeah.
But
you'd think they would have known.
He calls a professor friend of his. They come in. They open a crate. It is a what? Oh my God! I read the description. It's not a Bigfoot. It's not a Sasquatch.
It's Fluffy.
What's the technical term for the abominable snowman? Yeti. It's supposed to be a Yeti. It's supposed to be a pretty decent sized Yeti that fits into that box too. That's the thing that always kind of like, because he pulls 3 people into the crate with him and eats them.
Oh yeah, he was really hungry though. Look at the date on that crate.
Yeah, it eats the janitor, then goes back in the crate. The professor runs away. The Yeti, we actually see in shadow, because we never see it in its full form, push the crate back under the steps, because that's its home. It's the only thing it's known for 130 plus years. So a student goes and checks it, because he thinks the professor's high. He gets eaten. Professor runs to another professor's house, And the professor has a very abusive wife.
Ugh, I
So,
just wanted her to,
It was
like...
Adrienne Barbeau.
Ugh.
And
She agitated the crap out of me.
This friend drugs the main professor.
Mm-hmm.
Goes there, checks out, is like, this is real. Convinces his wife to come down there.
Wait, cleans up the
Cleans
blood.
up, because he convinces his wife to go up there that one of the students was attacked and she's only going to come out to another woman. So he gets her down there. And yeah, the
also,
damn
she's
thing.
Drunk the whole
she's
time.
drunk. She was mixing
Completely.
milk and brandy.
And she...
Ugh.
Yeah, that kind of grossed me out. Like, I was gagging because...
you don't know gross out till we get to the next story.
No. Wait. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing kills it. The professor locks the crate and takes the crate to the quarry and throws it in the quarry.
But I could smell her drink.
And
she drove with a glass of it! She drove that station wagon that my mom had, by the way, with that. Like, just driving on and holding this glass of milk and brandy.
The professors share the stories and say, okay, that's it. We threw it into the crate. I'm not saying anything. You don't say anything. Good? Good. All right, let's play some chess. And the last scene is Fluffy breaking the crate open and...
You dropped it off a cliff and
coming
it went
to
into
the surface.
ocean and...
No, it was a quarry.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
And that's it. I don't really have any facts about this one except the creature was called Fluffy.
I'm not gonna lie, that one and the last one were not my favorites. Because the wife just angered me.
That was
and
the
I was
point.
just like, I want you to get
But let's
eaten.
get to the last one, because you want to run right through it, don't you? What was the name of it? I can't remember.
They're creeping up on you.
Cockroaches. Just everywhere. Some billionaire in a...
germaphobe. He was a germaphobe.
He
like
had,
crazy.
who the hell was it?
I don't know.
No, who did Leonardo DiCaprio play in The Great Gatsby? Created the spruce moose.
Oh.
Long fingernails, long beard. Kept jars of his urine.
Oh.
His name's escaping me.
Yes. I learned about him.
Put him in the comments. Think of the name.
Yes.
But he's basically another one of those. He's in a airtight, germophobic room. Nothing in there but cockroaches keep getting in.
Yep.
He's also, you find out, of course, him being this rich billionaire guy, he is just a mean dude.
Nobody likes him.
They're talking about taking over another company, and he goes, well, of course we are. And he goes, yeah, it's going to be a lot easier because the guy killed himself about an hour ago. And he goes, oh, well, that's going to be a hell of a lot easier. And he just has no remorse. Yeah, and he's like,
we don't have to fire him. We don't have to...
The guy's wife calls, and he's just giving her crap the whole time because he was weak and he was nothing. He didn't care if he stepped on him and this and that. And there's symbolism with the cockroaches, and you get where I'm going.
Ends the call with, who gave you my personal number? And she said, it was in my husband's
Rolodex.
phone book, or Rolodex, whatever. And I was just like, well, because he was gonna say, like, kill that dude, but the dude's already
pretty much
dead. And he was just like a terrible, terrible man. Just...
But there was the symbolism with the cockroaches, how they're getting him now instead of him stepping on people. They're getting him, and it's... Yeah. If you're arachnophobic, you're going to hate this, because they're just everywhere.
Arachnophobia spiders.
If you're cockroachophobic...
If you don't like creepy crawlies, I would not watch
food,
this.
He eats them.
That was my gag factor.
They crawl up his legs, they're crawling his arms, are on the computer, and he hides... He doesn't hide. Because it gets to the point where he has to lock himself in the...
airtight...
hyperbolic bed chamber.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they're crawling all over the place, and he's laughing at them because they can't get in here. And then he starts to see the covers move on his bed. And he pulls it back, and they're all there.
Is it wrong that when they showed that place, all I could smell was, like, bleach and sterile...
No, I think you were supposed to.
I was just like, oh, I can smell this.
Yeah, it smells like a smell of a hospital.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like...
just cleanser.
Bleach. That's all,
But then it cuts back to the building superintendent who's trying to get a hold of him, and then it comes back to him, and he's dead on the bed. And then all the cockroaches come out of him.
Yep.
His mouth, they cut in his throat. Well, actually, the first thing you see is, like, them coming out of the temple in his head, and I was like, these cockroaches can go through bone. Neat.
Well, didn't
But
you know?
skull, mouth, they rip through the neck. Cover the now very obvious dummy. It was very obvious. Oh, yes,
it was so obvious. I did make that note.
Covering the bed, cuts back to the superintendent trying to get a hold of him, and now the room is literally, like, 4 feet up. It's just supposed to be black and brown with cockroaches. And that's where it ends, and then it cuts back to the wraparound with Tom Atkins, whose son purchased the voodoo doll from the comic book and is giving his dad neck and back pains by stabbing it.
Yeah. Well,
and but I will say this, the garbage men that found the comic,
yeah,
one of them was Tom Savini, the guy that did all the monster work for all this.
I was gonna ask.
And is responsible for Jason as a kid, and then it came back for Jason in part 4, which is totally the final chapter. There were no other Jasons after part 4. We're not up to the 12th movie at all, waiting for the 13 at all. Responsible for a majority of the zombie movies that are out here, too, the makeup.
You're adorable.
He was also Sex Machine in Dusk Till Dawn. He had a gun on his... He did.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's the vampire he used it on.
Anyway. But yeah, my favorite part was still Stephen King. And, the voodoo doll at the end, because I was like, man, that dad deserves it.
That was Stephen King's son. That was Joe King.
Really?
Yep.
Oh wow. Who
wrote Joe Hill. I'm sorry, but Joe King.
Yeah.
He wrote Horns.
Nice.
Yeah. Starring Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, was that the one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He wrote that. Yep.
Nice.
But that was Creepshow. 1982, 2 hours long. Really didn't have any facts. You didn't take any notes.
No,
we were just
watching
it's Creepshow.
I was so excited about it, and everybody did not steer me wrong, except for the cockroaches. Ugh.
I swear, I thought that was in the second one. I told you this at the beginning. I forgot there was 5 stories in this. I thought this one had 4, and the second one had 4 as well.
You warned me, at least. You did warn me, and you were
as soon as I saw the back of the case, I went, oh yeah, the cockroach one's in this one. Yeah. Which means Creepshow 3... no, not Creepshow 3. No.
You knew going into it, you already knew, and you were like, you're gonna gag.
Creepshow 2 has 3 stories.
Yes.
We'll see if we'll get to that. Might be on the list. Might be not. I might just pick crappy movies this time and make people pick.
You're gonna. I know you are.
Probably will. But, hey, Scary Poppins.
Yes,
you ever seen Creepshow?
I have.
You have. Because of them.
Thank you, guys.
Your fate.
They did.
Your movie fate.
So you're gonna pick my movie fate next time, guys?
No. This is me as, Bonesaw from Spider-Man. Ooh, yeah. Did you never see Spider-Man? Might do a superhero month, who knows?
Guess what? You have a lot of work ahead of you with me.
I do. I got a lot of work ahead. But, Creepshow, great pick again. So far, any of these movies let you down? Was there one?
Halloween.
Oh, the first Halloween. Yeah. That doesn't
Sorry,
count.
guys.
That doesn't. You made up for it with the second one because you were on your edge of your seat with the second one.
I loved it. Was that our sick day?
I believe so.
Yeah.
To the next one.